Welcome to the second entry of Conceptio Idearum. Today we're gonna discuss my new worm-like creature design process. This worm-like creature, or Vvyrm, is a distant relative and more primitive relative to the Apep Dashrat, or the test worm, that was discussed in earlier videos. You should check them out before continuing to watch this one. Unlike its desert relative, this worm lives in the bottom of the ocean and is referred to as the Charybdis by the Hellastic people. Both the Apep and Charybdis are grouped into the nexus of Vvyrm. Nexus is a term used in Pangeum to refer to a group of organisms that share similar features, analogous to the term taxon in the real world. I've already developed the main distinctions between Vvyrms and ordinary worms. The first key feature of Vvyrms is possessing porous body wall, either used for filter feeding or respiration. This porous body wall was inspired by sponges. Secondly, they possess sensory tentacles that could be filled with pressure, olfactory or light sensors. Thirdly, they have conozoid and planula stages in their not-so-fictional life cycle. And last but not least, they possess phalanx, a structure similar to whale's baleen. Meanwhile, worms are classified into the nexus of intestinian, with the characteristics of simple, naked, and without appendages. Both Vvyrms, or vvyrms, and intestinian are grouped into the Seira of Vermes, together with the Vermes of lithozoan, phytozoan, molluscan, and testacea. Seira and Vermes are the equivalent taxa of class and order in our real-world taxonomy, respectively. I will elaborate more on this classification in the future videos. This video shows the immature Charybdis that was just developed from the planula stage before it becomes the gigantic whirlpool-causing individual. It begins its life as a small, unassuming coral dweller akin to sea anemone. It will passively filter foods through the porous body wall and actively predate unsuspecting animals that come close to it. To sense the presence of its prey, it uses its antennae and tentacles. The antennae contain chemoreceptors and photoreceptors, basically to see, smell, and taste the waters, while the tentacles contain mechanoreceptors that will be triggered when touched by the prey. The body design and coloration were inspired by two animals, the sea apple, a type of sea cucumber, and the branching face sponge, similar to the desert worm design that was inspired by two types of sea cucumbers. Meanwhile, the tentacles design was taken from sea apples, Pangeumorphs, and Todd Marshall's design of crinoids. In its earlier stage of development, the tentacles diameter won't have that big of a difference to the body of the worm, but reaching maturity will cause them to expand more than 10 times of the diameter of the body. Furthermore, its body will elongate from the bottom of the ocean, reaching almost to the surface level of the water. At first, I wanted to design its jaw to be simple, not retractable like the desert worm, but I couldn't find any real-world references for carnivorous worms with toothed mouths. All of them always have some form of pharyngeal jaws, whereas the mouths are basically just holes for the digestive system. So I made the jaw reversible. The design for the jaws was a hybrid of Nephthys and Glycera worms' pharyngeal jaws, different from the jaws of desert worm. The majority of their life is spent attached to the seafloor or coral reef by a Holdfast structure underneath their body until they are massive enough and ready to enter the reproductive stage. In the reproductive stage, they can swim freely and then repeat the life cycle and becoming sessile again in the bottom of the ocean. That's all for today's entry. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like and comment this video to better improve my future videos.